Welcome back to the Brutally Honest. Welcome back to the Brutally Honest podcast. It is just me today. I stuttered in the beginning of the intro because I haven't done this before. I'm a little nervous to just have myself on this podcast, but it's actually very needed for me to have a solo episode today because I have some things that I have been needing to address. Basically, I'm in a little bit of hot water on the internet. I don't want to say canceled because I don't feel like I'm at a place where I can get canceled yet since I'm not that big. But I have been making a lot of people mad lately with some things that I have been posting. And I usually do make people mad with things I post. I post cringier content. I'll have jelly fruits and I'll pop them, or I'll say things wrong in my videos intentionally, and then everyone will rush to the comments saying, how dare you say that wrong? It's just little jabs I'll get. I mean, I get a lot of hate comments, but it's I'll get hate for really dumb things. However, with these two recent things that I've done on the internet that I didn't know I would get so much hate for, I've been getting a lot more hate than I usually get. Basically, one of the things I did was I posted a video and I said, POV, you can't participate in the Gatorade pod trend because you're poor. And people did not like that I was calling myself poor. So I'm going to go into that one first, and then I'll go into the muscle suit on Snapchat. But about 2 years ago, I lived in this basic 2-bedroom apartment with a roommate. I was not making a lot of money, and I was just trying to make it by on social media. And the Gatorade pod trend was popping off. And everyone I knew was posting videos with the Gatorade pods, but I was not able to afford a Gatorade pod because I was literally dead broke. So I made a video of me using a Gatorade bottle as a Gatorade pod saying, POV, you can't, I should have said you can't afford, but I said, POV, you're poor, but you want to participate in the trend. And I posted it, and it was my most viral TikTok video. I got 14 million views, not comments, but it felt like 14 million comments because the comment section was getting flooded with people saying, how dare you call yourself poor? You're obviously not poor. And honestly, it just felt like a lot of people creating assumptions about me. They didn't know anything about my life, who I am or where I came from, anything about my background. And they just saw that video and immediately assumed this girl's super mega rich and she is calling herself poor. I am offended because most of the comments were of people commenting about my kitchen. It was a basic 2-bedroom apartment. It had the basic utilities any apartment would have, but they were that's a marble countertop. Those are stainless steel appliances. She has wooden cabinets. This girl is not poor. It's insane. Y'all be going to any place with this ish. You guys be jumping to so many conclusions. And then some people will comment saying that I live in a mansion. It's obvious that she has this beautiful house. And I'm it's an apartment. It's a little piece of a kitchen that I'm showing in this 15-second video. And I'm getting flooded with all these comments about who I am as a person, the lifestyle I live. And it's just not true. I guess it made me realize that it is so easy to create a world in your head for what is happening on social media and just to fabricate it and go off that, and everyone feeds off it. And that's how a lot of people can get, I feel taken for granted on social media a lot, where there's clips of someone being up, a clip of someone, a 15-second clip, and maybe they say something funny or say something that they didn't know would offend people, but it does. Everyone will base that one thing they said off their entire value system. I'm getting a little carried away with this topic because it's something I'm so passionate about because I've done social media for so long, and I've just been noticing this, how overly judgmental people are getting of others who post videos of themselves, and how they're just so quick to jump to conclusion. But during that time when I made that video, I was actually poor. The fact that I have to explain that to you guys is absolutely absurd. The reason why I'm explaining it again right now is because the one thing about that video is it got 14 million views when I posted it. So I just kept reposting the video here and there because it would get a lot of views. Recently, I reposted the video on Instagram Reels and it got around 3 million views. And I get a lot of hate comments on TikTok, but I don't get a lot of hate comments on Instagram because I don't get a lot of viral videos on Instagram. And I noticed when you are getting hate on Instagram, it's very different when you're getting hate on TikTok because the fan base on TikTok is younger fan base, but the fan base on Instagram is older. So I have a lot of older people attacking me right now. Like, I don't even want to go through the comments. It is absurd. I'm getting so many. And you know it's bad when they're going to other posts of yours to comment about it, or if they're going to other platforms of yours to comment about it. Because like I said, I've made a lot of videos in the past where I upset people, and usually it just stays in that video. But right now I'm getting plastered with all these comments on other videos, or they're going through my old Instagram and they're finding all these old pictures of me and saying, "You're not poor, how dare you call yourself poor?" And there's just all these like fights blowing up in my comment section. Like, I just reloaded it right now and there's like a debate about how people can put loans on houses, and like just because someone has a nice place doesn't mean they're wealthy or not. It's so crazy how much of a dumpster fire these comment sections are based off something that's not even what they know the full perspective of. And I kind of want to explain the full perspective of where I am financially because I feel like I have to now. I feel like I have to like address it since everyone is so concerned about my financial place. And I guess it's a little bit my fault. I should have not used the word poor in the video. I should have said, POV, you can't afford a Gatorade pod, because that's just like less direct. But I think everyone has a different perception of what poor is. Like, I need to like tread lightly when I talk about this. But for me at the time when I was making that video, I felt like I hit rock bottom and I was at my lowest with my financial situation. But I'm getting comments of people saying that I'm privileged and you don't really know what it's like to be poor. And for me, I felt like I did because I could barely afford rent. I could barely afford food. I dropped out of college. I was just trying to make it by on social media, and I had no money. I was taking out, I was owing people money for rent. Like, my rent was $1,200 a month, but I wasn't able to afford it because I was making $800 a month. So I would owe my mom all this money. I finally paid her back, which feels really good because I am now making money. But I guess everyone has their perceptions of poor, and my perception at the time was not having enough money to afford a Gatorade pod. But I'm getting comments of people saying, well, there's people literally living on the streets. And that's honestly a good point. So I did not have the right to use that word. And next time, I'll just say something like, I couldn't afford this. And this is me taking accountability. So now that I got that over with, that chunk, because this video has been haunting me for a while and I still always get comments about it. Wait, actually, I have a couple more things I need to address with that. Like, let me make sure I got cleared everything up with that. Another thing that frustrates people is I am perceived to have a wealthy, like, look wealthier, like, on social media. And then I'm making a video saying, like, POV, you're poor and you can't afford a Gatorade pod. So I can see how that's very upsetting. But at the time when I was, like, dirt broke, I would try my hardest to be perceived as wealthy because I was so embarrassed by not having money. I just started making money about 2 months ago. I went 2 years strong of literally barely being able to afford rent, barely being able to afford food, not being able to do anything like going out with friends. So I'm like, I don't know if I should, yeah, but basically I'm seeing that while I was in like a rougher situation, I still have a very supportive family. But a lot of people assume that my family just gives me free handouts because they're like, oh, well, you have brothers who made it to the top. How dare you say that you are poor? Or, oh, your parents are wealthy. How dare you say you're poor? But I grew up in a situation where I was never given free handouts. Like, my brothers are at the place they're at because they had to work their way to the top, and they had a point in their life where they were dead broke and they had to figure it out all by themselves. My parents, they lost all of their money in the 2008 recession because they're real estate agents, and we were dead broke for a very long time. And my dad had to build a business all up by himself. So when it came to the point where I was about to get evicted from my apartment because I literally could not afford it, and I asked my dad, hey, can you help me out with this? He told me, I want you to figure this out on your own and experience the feeling of literally about to be evicted. I cannot say that. And I was so frustrated with him, and I was like, why is he not just like giving me money? Why is he not supporting me throughout this? Like, it's so hard, like struggling out here. But I'm so grateful he did, because now I just started making money and I appreciate it so much more. And that's just another little side tangent of mine I was thinking about, because I can see how I have privilege with having a supportive family by my side, which I'm really grateful for. But something that everyone in my family stands by is you have to make it on your own in a way. Like, you have to figure it out for yourself, and we're not just going to give this to you. So, yeah, that was my Gatorade pod explanation. I don't know. I like to get on my little side tangents. Okay. Now let's go on to my next cancellation. the downfall of Brianna Sprins. Not cancellation. I'm being dramatic. At the end of the day, I'm not a crazy big influencer, and I think right now I'm talking like I'm a huge influencer. Like, let me address the situation, but everything is so, like, it seems so big in the social media world, but it's really so small. There's like way bigger problems out there in this world, and that's why I'm like going about it in this way where I'm not like super upset. It's easy to get caught up in it when you get a lot of hate and like walk around throughout your day thinking everyone's judging you and this, this is a cruel world and stuff, but everyone's getting hate nowadays, so I gotta let that one go. It did bother me for a bit, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, next thing that I'm getting canceled about is I have been blowing up on Snapchat lately. I'm growing really fast. I am at 737K subscribers on there now. I think I've been getting like 100K every 2 months, like in subs. And with growing on Snapchat, I've been experimenting with stories. And one day I was at my brother's house experimenting with stories and stuff to post on my Snapchat. And they have all these fun little products for their videos. So I was just messing around with the products they have. One of them was a squishy monkey, and I was throwing the squishy monkey in videos, and I was posting on Snapchat and stuff. I was like, look what I found, picture. You know how the Snap stories go. Then I find this muscle suit. It's just like this rubbery suit that you put on over your head, and it makes it look like you have like chiseled man abs. So I'm like, this will be a fun thing to post on Snapchat. So I do. And I did that about 8 months ago. Didn't think much of it. Then recently, I was looking for more things to post on my Snapchat. And I'm like, oh, let me repost my muscle suit story onto Snapchat. I post it onto one of my save stories, and it gets around 100 million views. And I'm like, oh my God, this is viral. And you know me, I'm an influencer. I gotta ride the wave of virality. So I post it on my public story. I did not expect to get so much backlash for me wearing the muscle suit. It's so crazy because it was so innocent how I went about doing it. I'm like, I literally just found a muscle suit in my brother's prop room. I'm going to try it on. Like, it was so innocent. Like, it was such an innocent idea. And people were turning it into such a corrupt thing that wasn't really happening. After I posted it, my story was blowing up, and I found myself getting tagged in Instagram stories, and people were like just furious because some people can't tell it's a muscle suit. So they think I just have a man's chest. I have a man's chest. They think I'm a woman with a man's chest. And it infuriated a lot of people. I just wanted to mess around with it. I thought it looked funny on. Like, it just, for it to turn into something so intense. And I don't know, like, I started getting emails. My brother started getting emails from people. We were getting blown up. We were getting all these messages. And like I said in the beginning, I get people upset at me a lot for my videos because I do silly, cringy things. But these situations feel a little bit different when the hate transfers over to other platforms. And then once it transfers over to people you're close to, that's when it's a little concerning. I can see why people would be upset about it. Honestly, I really can't. I can't even lie. It was just a muscle suit I put on and it was goofy, but I don't really know what's going on right now. I don't know why people are upset. They said it's like I'm exploiting myself. But I made it very obvious it was a muscle suit and it wasn't like my actual chest. I don't have a man's chest. It's just such a weird situation. Social media is so weird. I don't know what you guys want from me. I don't know what y'all want from me. Like, things just get taken like so to the extreme, bro. Like, it's insane. I can't even explain the comments I'm getting. I'm trying to talk about like how it's so extreme, and I feel like I'm not giving enough background on why it's extreme because I don't even want to look at it. Like, I don't even want to look at the things that people are reposting of me, the emails that they're sending my brother, the emails that they're sending my mom. They're like, how dare you have your daughter upload this? Like, she's exploiting herself, and I'm like, it's a muscle suit. I've mistaken by not explaining more that I literally just put on a plastic muscle suit because people thought it was like actually my chest, but you have to see the picture for this to make sense. Like, if you don't see the picture, you probably think I'm crazy. But even if it was, like, why are you going out of your day to email my family about how much this picture has upsetted you? I understand social media is very upsetting now, and I could see how me wearing a muscle suit can be triggering to other people if they don't know the full extent of me and that it's just a muscle suit. Because when you're in such a mindset where you're angry at everything going on social media right now, it's so easy to get triggered by everything. But it's like getting mad at the influencers for posting the things that upset you is not going to solve the overall problem. Because I know there's so many things being overly exploded nowadays on social media. I know it's messy and it's a big dumpster fire and there's so many things to get upset about on there. But I think what we're doing wrong is we're getting upset at the people posting videos. Because like I was saying earlier, it's so easy to take things out of context. And when you're already upset just at the internet in general and what's going on, there could be an influencer not doing what you think they're doing, but because you're so heightened in your emotions with your feelings about the internet, anything could be such an easy trigger. Like, if I was to post myself in that muscle suit about 3 years ago, I don't think I would be getting the backlash I'm getting now. But just because there's so much separation and anger and everyone's just so heightened with how they feel and their opinions, that's why it got so heightened up. And that's honestly why the story probably got 100 million views. And that's another thing, like, us being angry at influencers and hating isn't fixing it. It's just fuel. Because I saw, oh, that got 100 million views. I didn't know it was because people were angry at it because it was a saved story. I can't see the comments. So I posted it again. And if people weren't so angry at it, it probably wouldn't have gotten so many views. So people think that they're standing for the right side by screaming at other people on the internet in the comment section for doing something that they do not believe is right, but you're just a part of the chaos. And it's like we're getting mad at the wrong people because we're all in this together. I just feel like no matter what, if you're angry, it's not solving any problems. And it's just we are separating even more. And a lot of times what happens on the internet is there's like this one person with this side and this one person with this side, and they think their perspective is the ultimate and the right perspective, and they really think it's coming from the best place. But this person thinks their perspective is literally such a good place to come from, and if you don't see it from this place, you're a bad person. Like, they're both seeing each other as bad people, and then they're shouting at each other in a comment section on a video. But it's like, can we not see the bigger picture of how we're on a social media platform right now, scrolling, getting angry at every little thing we see? That's what it feels like to me as an influencer, because I feel like everyone just gets so angry nowadays at anything you see. Like, everything can upset someone in a video. For example, something I've noticed is I have a whole different perspective on how I view social media content than the consumers, because I make the content. So I was scrolling through Spotlight, that's where like the comments are the worst, Snapchat Spotlight, and I saw a video, and my thoughts through watching this video was, oh, that was so smart how he made it obvious that he's faking the video, and then he just did like a really bad acting job. And I thought it was like super obvious and super funny. I'm like, oh, he did so good. This guy, this creator, this influencer is so smart. He knows how to utilize the app. He knows how to adapt. That's what my mindset was. But I'll look at the comments and I'll see people saying, how dare you fake your video? Guys, I think he's faking his video. No, he's not faking his video. Why would you think? And it's just that's what you guys all sound like. But can we not see the bigger picture going on? Like, going back and forth, this video is bad. This is bad. How did it? Like, you're just part of the dumpster fire of what you're truly mad at. I don't know if I'm making sense. I could just keep going on and going on. I have not slept very good. I'm like on 3 hours of sleep, and I look very bummy right now. So I think I'm going to end my podcast. But thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And bye, guys. This has been the Brutally Honest podcast.